All right. So today we're going to cover rotation. Okay. So I'm going to teach you, if I give you a set of points, how to find the new set of points once I've rotated. Okay. So before we can get started, we need to talk about quadrants. So we're going to go back to old school. Okay. Here's my quadrant. Here's my x-axis and my y-axis. Okay. So we have 4 quadrants. When I have an x and y axis, it's split into 4 pieces. Which one of these was quadrant 1? Top right. Okay. So this is quadrant 1. And when I'm in quadrant 1, my x value is positive or negative? And my y value is? Positive. Quadrant 1 is my positive quadrant. Where is quadrant 2? To the top left. Okay, your quadrants go counterclockwise. So this is now quadrant 2. My x is now, and my y is positive. We go down to the bottom for quadrant 3. And my point is negative and negative. And when I move over to the last quadrant, quadrant 4, we are positive and negative. Okay, this is going to be very important. Okay, I'm going to teach you the quickest and easiest way I know how to do this. Okay, because I have a hard time memorizing things. Okay, so I try to think of tips and tricks to only have to memorize a little bit and then use what I already know to do the rest. Okay, so right now, my figure is in quadrant what? 1. Okay, so let's make this point A, this point B, and this point C. Okay, so in quadrant 1, A is at the point 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A is at positive 2, positive 5, because it's in quadrant 1. I'm going to zoom in on this chart, actually. Okay, so A is at 2, 5. B is at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. And C is at 2, 1. Okay, when I rotate something, I can rotate it clockwise or counterclockwise. If I rotate clockwise, this clock will never disappear, even final exams, so use it if you need it. Clockwise means my hands rotate in the order of the clock. I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I'm rotating around to the right is clockwise, which means counterclockwise is going the opposite direction. So we've got clockwise, which is a C, and that goes around to the right. And we have counterclockwise, and that's CC, and that's around to the left. Okay, so you're going to have to remember that clockwise and counterclockwise go in 2 different directions, and remember which directions those go. We're not going to talk about this right now. We're in the middle of a math lesson. Okay. All right. So let me go back to this picture. The first column, it wants me to go 90 degrees clockwise. So if I go 90 degrees clockwise, my figure is now going to be in what quadrant? 4. Okay, so it goes down here. So if you take a look at A right now, where is A? Positive 5, negative 2. So if we go back down here, we're at positive 5, negative 2. Where is B right now? 1, negative 6. And where is C? 1, negative 2. So, what happened to the numbers of my original point? They switched. Okay? So, we are now y first, x second. And because I'm in quadrant 4, this second number is a negative.
So what do we do when it says 270?
Okay, so Kathy just said, well, what do I do if it's 270 counterclockwise? So 90 means I've moved 1 quadrant. Okay, 270 means I've moved 3 quadrants. Okay, counterclockwise though, here's 1 quadrant, 2 quadrants, 3 quadrants. So 90 degrees clockwise and 270 counterclockwise is the same exact thing. Okay, so 270 counterclockwise and 90 clockwise is the same exact movement. It's just one goes 3 spaces around to the left and the other one goes 1 space around to the right. Okay, so let's go back to my original. Okay, now I want to go 180. So how many quadrants do I need to move? 2. Okay, does it matter if I go 1, 2, or 1, 2? No. Okay, so normally when you see 180, they don't tell you clockwise or counterclockwise. Because either way you go, you end up in the same spot. Okay, so normally you'll just see 180. So now that I'm 180, where is A? Negative 2, negative 5. Where is B? Negative 6, negative 1, and negative 2, negative 1. Okay, so we want to compare these back to my original points. So I started 2, 5. I'm now negative 2, negative 5. 6, 1, negative 6, negative 1. What's happened?
It's the same. It's x, y versus negative.
Okay, we just changed the signs. Okay, so my rule here is 180 means we change the sign of x and change the sign of y.
So they both.
It doesn't necessarily mean they're both going to end up being negative. So if I would start with the point negative 2, positive 5, think about what quadrant that's in. If I'm negative positive, what quadrant am I in? I'm in the second one. If I go 180, what quadrant do I end in? Okay, if I go 180, I end in my 4th quadrant. So here, my point should be positive, negative. So this point actually becomes positive 2, negative 5. So the negatives in your rule doesn't necessarily mean your answer is going to be negative. It means we change the sign of x. So if x is positive, it becomes negative. If x is negative, it becomes positive. Okay. We'll practice more on this, I promise. Okay. Okay. Next one. 270 clockwise, which is the same thing as 90 counterclockwise. So if I start here, where do I end up? I end up in the second quadrant. There's 90 counterclockwise or 270 clockwise. So where's A? Negative 5, comma 2. B? Negative 1, 6. Okay, so again, from my original points where I started to where I am now, X and Y have switched, and my first number. So here's my rule. The last one. What if I go a complete one or 360? We go back to my original points. So 360 means my points haven't changed. So I'm at 2, 5, 6, 1, and 2, 1. Would you say that? Because you switch these points and the first one changes signs. So when I flip 5, 2, it becomes positive 5, positive 2, and then I want that 5 to be negative. Questions? All right, let's practice some more. If you flip to page 24.
Like on the second quadrant, we put that's a negative and a positive, like on the little picture that you drew at the top.
Uh-huh.
But then, but wouldn't like the first one, so this would represent X and Y.
Mm-hmm.
But right here, the Y is a negative number.
Because the number that represented Y originally is now your X.
Yeah, I understand that. So wouldn't it be positive, negative?
You know that.
You know what I mean? Like this is like confusing because I was thinking that the X would be negative. Like I get this. I don't know how to explain this.
No, I get where you're going with that.
So it'll always be 50.
It'll always be 90 or 270. We're actually going to talk about that. So maybe I'll catch you in a little bit. Okay. All right. So, back, or I will take your phone. You can charge it all you want, but you leave it alone.
Can I start asking you to turn this off?
Sorry, I'm not taking no tissue. I don't know what the heck is on that. All right. So, rotation. Here's your definition. Okay. A rotation is a transformation in which a figure is turned about a fixed point called the center of rotation. So the point that you turn it around, which we're talking about the origin, okay, is called your center of rotation. Rotations can be clockwise or counterclockwise, and it is an isometry, which means when I rotate it, my side lengths stay the same and my angles stay the same. Okay, they do not change. So let's go down. Find yourself your picture with A, B, C. A, B, C. So the first thing we want to list, where is point A right now in this picture?
-4.
-5.
Oh,
You said -6. -5, -6. Where is B?
-4, -2.
-3.
-3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2.
I was looking at something else.
You're fine.
Something
-3, -2. And where is C?
-1,
-1,
-6.
-6. Okay. So I want to do, let's do a 90-degree clockwise. Okay. So when I'm trying to come up with the new points, anytime I tell you 90 degrees or 270, you automatically take your numbers. Don't even worry about where the signs are right now. Take your numbers and switch their places. Okay, so what I mean by that is automatically A becomes 6, 5, 2, 3, 6, 1. Okay, so 90 and 270. Automatically flip the numbers. Okay, don't worry about the signs right now. Okay, if I'm going 90 degrees clockwise and I start in quadrant 3, I end up where? Quadrant 2, which means I should be negative, positive. So now every one of your points, you're going to make negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive. You're done.
I already did.
That's the easiest trick I can tell you. Okay, so 90 degrees, take your numbers, switch them. Then tell me, I started in this quadrant, so now I'm in this quadrant, so I should be positive, positive, or negative, positive, or positive, negative. What should they look like? Okay, so let's move over to this one. So we've got J, K, and L. J is at 1, 3. K is at 1, 2, 3, -2. And L is at 1, -2. Okay. Let's make this one a 270 clockwise. Okay. Again, 90 or 270. Switch your numbers every time. Switch your numbers. So we don't care about the signs right now. We're at 3, 1. We're at 2, 3. We're at 2, 1. Okay. Now you have to be careful because some of these points are in one quadrant. Some of these points are in another quadrant. So right now, J is in quadrant 1. If I go 270 clockwise, it goes to quadrant
4, 3,
2.
That's what I meant.
Okay? 270 means I move 3 quadrants clockwise. So 1, 2, I'm up in quadrant 2. So quadrant 2 means my first number should be? I'm here. So we're negative, and my Y should be positive. Okay? L and K start us off in quadrant 4.
That's what I meant.
So it's going to go to quadrant 1. Well, if I'm in quadrant 1, my number should be positive, positive. So I don't need to do anything. You're done. Okay. Let's move over here. This time they want us to try to come up with the rule. They want us to, you need to be able to look at this picture and tell me this is a what rotation?
Like, you know,
Okay, it moved how many quadrants? 2. This is a 180-degree rotation. Oops. And you don't have to write clockwise or counterclockwise because it's the same thing. You end up in the same spot. Question. Okay, you're fine.
Quadrant 2 would always give you the negative first. Right?
Negative first, positive second. All right. We need to cover this next. The piece that I told you you might want to hold off. Yes, let me get through this page and then you can run out and grab water real fast. Okay. At the top of this page where you see the word rotation, I want you to put this note because this is very important. If they don't tell you clockwise or counterclockwise, it is always counterclockwise. Okay. So it sounds really weird because mostly you guys are used to clockwise. So you think if they don't tell you, it's going to be clockwise. But when you actually go to study the unit circle goes counterclockwise, which is why this rule happens. So if they just tell you rotate 90 degrees and they don't tell you if it's clockwise or counterclockwise, always assume that it is counterclockwise. Okay. I need some more colors so I can visually show you what I mean. Grab this and this and these. All right. It's all right. I'll show you how to fold it here in a minute. Okay. Right now, with this problem, P is going to be your center of rotation. Okay. That's where your little brass piece is. That's where everything's turning around. Okay. So the first one wants to rotate C. So the first thing you need to do is find C. Well, C is here. Okay. We're going to fold it here in a second anyway. Give me a second. Okay. So C is here. When I rotate C, it's got to be the points on the outside of that diamond shape. So C can rotate to either A, G, or E.
How can it rotate to G? Yeah.
180.
I thought you were only doing it 90.
Okay. I'm saying it can.
Oh.
We're not looking at where it's at right now. Hold on. Okay. So your outsides can only rotate to those points on the outside. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So C can never be J. C can never be M. It's got to be those outside points. Okay. So if I'm rotating 90 degrees, and again, it doesn't say clockwise or counterclockwise, so it's always going counterclockwise. So this is going to go from C to A. So your answer here is A. I think I can zoom in just a little bit more. Okay. Now they want us to rotate F. Okay, so what points can go with F? F is here. It could either be H, B, or D. Okay, it can only be those four. I want to go 180 degrees.
You need to go to B.
So I need to go to B. All right, I need to get some colors. All right, this next one, instead of rotating a point, I'm rotating a line. Okay, E to F. So E to F is this line right here. So what can E to F be? You said G to H, that one works. C to D, or A to B.
What about B to C?
You said what?
Never mind.
Which one was right?
Okay, so it can be one of those four. Does that make sense as to why they're one of those four? No. Okay, hold on. That's fine. Let's go over this. Let me zoom in just a little bit more here. All right, so if I look at this side, E to F is the second part of this side. So that can only match up with the second part of this side, the second part of this side, and the second part of this side. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, everybody on the same page with me now?
Yeah.
Okay, so now I only want to go 90 degrees. So if I start here, 90 degrees is going to take me to which one of those? Okay, technically, take a look at this. It goes EF, so it has to go C to D. Okay. You're fine. So it goes from E to F. So E goes with C, F goes with D, so I have to list it C first, D second. Did that just click?
Yeah.
So how many times do you go around if you got 90?
You go around one quadrant. So right now we're technically in quadrant 4. 90 degrees would move me to quadrant 1. Right. If it doesn't list it, it's counterclockwise. So please, please, please be careful with that. Guys, like I said, it is absolutely okay to be like, Miss Smith, I am lost. Help me. Because now you're clear on it. We got this. Okay. You're falling asleep because the fans are on?
No, don't turn the fans off. It's hot.
Oh, yeah.
All right, listen. If we can keep the volume down, I can open up the door and it'll bring in a little bit more of a breeze. Okay. I try not to open up the door because sometimes we can get excited. All right. Woo. All right. The next one. Okay. The next one says I have triangle FGH. So triangle FGH is this triangle. So it is this entire triangle. Okay, they want us to go 180 degrees. So if I'm facing the bottom, 180 makes me face the top. So be careful on how you spell this out. It went F, G, H. So my new triangle should go B, C, D. Okay, so watch what happens. If I actually flip this 180 degrees, woo, where's it at? There we are. If I actually flip this 180 degrees, F is on my left, G is at the top, H is on my right. So when I'm back at my regular picture, it needs to go left, top, right. So B, C, D. The next one, we're rotating H 90 degrees. H is going 90 degrees. We're at F. K is going 180 degrees. M, perfect. K to M. So, hold on, I got you. K is where I start. So, K can either go to J, M, or L. Okay, those are those inside points around P. And if I'm going 180 degrees, I'm going 2 spots. So, I'm going to skip J and go to M, or skip L and go to N.
Okay, now?
We good now?
No, that was K.
This is K.
Miss Smith,
Yeah, that's K.
when it said rotate H, 90 degrees, it was F, right?
Yes. The first one, rotate H 90 about P, was F, and rotate K 180 was N.
We still on H, right?
No, ma'am. You're okay.
No, we did K already.
Now we are H and M, right?
The first one is
Yeah, I was
F.
just kidding.
The second one is M, sweetie.
Okay. The next one we should do is H to M. Okay. H to M is this line. Okay. So Kathy said it could be BJ. What else could it be?
JK.
F to L or K to D.
K to D. I mean, K to D.
Anything.
Oh yeah, D to K. You're right. D to K. Nice catch. So if I'm at HM and I'm going 90 degrees, F to L. Be careful. Remember, I go from H to M. H goes with F, so F should be listed first. L should be listed second. So we're going to Florida, apparently.
Oh. Wait, what you mean, Florida?
FL, Florida. Okay, my last one for these. GLH. GLH is just this tiny triangle right here. GLH is that tiny triangle right there.
The whole thing?
Yep. That just the little one that I colored in completely. Okay. That whole one that I colored in completely. So that can either be this one, or this one. Okay. So if I start here and I want to go 90 degrees, it becomes this one. E, K, F.
JKF.
Okay. So just in case you missed any of those, here's what that side of the paper should look like.
It's hot, ain't it? Turn it back on.
You can't.
I mean, I don't think you want Kathy.
Why can't we turn it on?
I don't need Kathy falling asleep either.
I mean, you can turn it back
I don't
on.
want Kathy to let you in. Hold on, what?
You can turn it back on.
Oh, Jameer. All right. So let's practice some more with rotations. Okay. So this is going to reiterate what we've already done. Okay. We're just doing it over again. To rotate 90 degrees, the first thing you want to do is switch the X and Y coordinates. Okay. So that's when I told you to take the points and take your numbers and switch the places. Well, A is really not going to matter because it's 2, 2. So it stays 2, 2. B now becomes 1, 4, and C becomes 5, 1. Okay, switch your X and Y coordinates.
They're all positive.
Okay, for right now, we're not done yet.
Oh.
Okay, and check the quadrant to determine the sign. Okay, so you need to look at each point individually, figure out where it started and where it ends. Okay, so if I'm negative, negative, I'm in which quadrant?
Third.
I'm here. Okay, if I'm here and I'm going 90 degrees,
You're going to 4
you're going to 4. Remember, it doesn't tell you clockwise or counterclockwise, so it's always counterclockwise. So 3 goes to quadrant 4. Well, if I'm in quadrant 4, my first number should be, and my second number should be positive, negative. It's just my marker was sitting there. That's all. Where are you confused? Talk to me.
Like,
No,
how do you,
it's just my pen, when I pointed at it, it leaked.
you know what
that's
that notes we can rotate it? Now that we did it, we can rotate it. You know what I'm saying?
You're not going to be able to rotate it on your test either. However, you do get graph paper. So you are welcome. So let me do it this way. Let me switch colors because that just leaked. So A right now is at -2, -2, which puts it here. Okay, this is A. Okay. So when I move A 90 degrees, that moves it over here. So now A is at +2, -2. So this is technically A prime because we've transformed it.
So it's a pretty image.
Yep. A is your pre-image. A prime is your image. Did that help a little bit? Okay. So let's mark where B should be right now. B should be 4, -1. So 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, -1. So B is here. We're rotating 1 quadrant counterclockwise. So Kathy said we go to the first quadrant. Well, in the first quadrant, my point is positive, positive. So I can plot the point 1, 4. And here's B prime. Okay. C started at 1, 2, 3, 4, -5. So it started here. So if it's in 4, it's going to 1, which leaves this as a positive, positive. So my new point's at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1.
Oh.
Listen, if you struggle with remembering the rules, again, you get graph paper. You can easily plot this on your graph paper and literally go, okay, I'm going 90 degrees counterclockwise. So my original points now go here. Where am I at? That's okay. It is okay to go back old school. Our goal right now is to learn these roles so you don't have to do that, but it is okay to go back old school. There is nothing wrong with old school. All right. To rotate 180 degrees, we are going to negate.
What is that?
All right. Yeah, it is really too long right
Yes,
now.
ma'am.
Oh, okay.
She smiled when she said that. Oh, no.
Okay. Negate. Okay, just because we're under a code yellow does not mean that class cannot continue. We are not in a code red.
I wish we would.
Okay. So rotate 180 degrees. We negate both X and Y. When I say the word negate, that means change the sign. So negate means change the sign. So that means if I start at +1, +3, I go -1, -3. If I start at +2, 0, I become -2, 0. And +5, +2 becomes -5, -2. It would become positive. So, in other words, if I would do 180 and I started, let's say if I started -4, 3. Negate means change the sign. So my -4 becomes a +4. My +3 becomes a -3. If you started with 2 negatives, they become 2 positives. Okay. So 180 every time. 180 is probably the easiest one. Okay. All right. So rotate 270. You've got 2 ways to do this. We can do a 180 rotation and a 90 rotation. Whose music is that?
Tyrone's.
Come on, I'm teaching. I know. Music doesn't happen when I'm teaching. Off. Okay. I don't like to call this a 180 and then a 90. Okay. I think it's too confusing. So instead, I want you to put down at the bottom, C, rotate 90 degrees. Okay. So go back to the first one that we did. So the first one that we did, we said the first thing I need to do is switch X and Y. So instead of 1 first, 4 second, I've got 4 first and 1 second. Instead of 5, 1, I've got 1, 5. Okay, now I need to figure out which quadrant I'm in. So I need to figure out where I start and where I finish. Well, if I'm +1, -4. So +1, -1, 2, 3, 4. So here's J. So I start in quadrant 4. I'm going 270. Where do I end up?
3.
I end up in 3. 1, 2, 3. So if I'm in quadrant 3, my X's are negative. My Y's are negative. So I'm at -4, -1. So here is J prime. Make sure you're.
Sorry.
No, you're
The rules for 180 don't apply as in changing the sign.
No.
Neither do
90 and 270, your rule is take your numbers and switch them, and then figure out what quadrant you're in so you know if it's negative, negative, positive, negative, negative, positive.
So we'll always have to look at the quadrant. Look and just change the sign.
Yep.
The other ones you keep the same.
Huh?
The other ones you keep the same.
The 5, -1?
Like 180.
The 180, the numbers stay the same in the same positions. You just change the signs.
You always change the sign.
Always change the signs with 180. The numbers stay in the same position, change the signs. 90 and 270, switch your numbers, find your quadrant. Okay.
90 and 270.
Yes. Okay. So 1, 5. or I'm sorry, 5 comma negative 1, my bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, negative 1. Here is where K started. K started in 4, so it now goes to 3, which means I'm here again, which means it should be negative, negative. So negative 1, negative 5. Okay, I need to show you how to fold this so we can glue it in, and then we've got one more page to do. Okay, so if you have not folded this yet, okay, if the whole page is in front of you, take the bottom and fold it up across that first dotted line. Okay, take the bottom, fold it up to that first dotted line. Then you're going to take it, and at the next dotted line, fold it backwards. So we're going to fold it kind of like an accordion. So you fold it backwards, and then we fold it forwards again. And then backwards one more time. So when you finish, it should be just like this. So when you open it up, it's like an accordion. Your accordion looks broken? We got to do page 26. Okay. If you put glue on the bottom of it, it glues in at the top of page 25, where you glued in those 6 examples. So it's going to go here. Yes, that's 26. Head hurts.
That was a lot to process.
We could just go. They just
So Coach Michael asked us.
I don't know. I haven't been going. They may have it.
What?
We're in middle school.
What?
Like y'all came last year.
Yeah.
It's today.
Yeah,
they may have it always.
Right on top of you, too. Right too bad.
Okay. Take a look at 26. Okay, yes. I realize we skipped those 6 examples at the bottom of page 25. That's going to be your homework tonight. I said, what? There's no 6 problems.
You said 36 problems.
6. Only 6.
You almost
For you, 36, yes.
I almost had 100.
Okay, so the last thing we need to talk about is rotational symmetry. Okay, I have rotational symmetry if I can turn something in 180 degrees or less and it looks exactly the same. Okay, so if you take a look at this first example, it is an isosceles triangle. Is there any way that I can turn an isosceles triangle so it looks exactly the same in less than 180 degrees? No. Okay. If I flip it 90, it's going to look something like this. That doesn't look the same. Okay. If I flip it 180 degrees, it looks something like this. That's not the same either. So this is a no rotational symmetry. take a look at that middle finger. It's a rhombus. What's a rhombus?
It's like a diamond, but it's like squished. I mean, like.
It's like
It's like a square that's been slanted. Okay? It's like a square that's been slanted. Is there a way for me to rotate a rhombus so it lands and looks exactly like it does right now in 180 degrees or less? 180 exactly. Okay? If I rotate this 180 degrees, this point becomes this point. And this point becomes this point. So this is a yes. It has 180 degrees rotational symmetry. Okay. What about a regular hexagon? 180 works. I can technically do this in less than 180. A regular hexagon means all of these angles are the same. So this angle is this angle, which is this angle, which is this angle, which is this angle, which is this angle. A regular hexagon also means that this side, this side, this side, this side, this side, and this side are all the same.
You can do a 90 degree.
So I can technically, this is a yes. A regular hexagon has 6 sides. So 360 divided by 6 is 60. So this has rotational symmetry at 60 degrees, 120 degrees, and 180 degrees. No. Because if I move this to this angle, I've moved 60 degrees. If I go from this angle to this angle, I've moved 120. And if I go from this angle to this angle, that's 180.
The same would apply to a square because they have the same size.
Yes. Okay. Let's go down here to these pretty pictures. Okay. This one kind of, I don't know. I call it my splash of water. Okay. Can I rotate this for it to have rotational symmetry?
Yeah.
Yes. Again, a circle has 360. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ways to do it. So 60 degrees. Every 60 degrees, I have rotational symmetry. So this could be 60, 120, or 180. Every 60 degrees is rotational symmetry. Number 2 is a regular pentagon. Would you say this has rotational symmetry? Yes. Anytime it is a regular anything, regular octagon, regular pentagon, regular hexagon, that means all of your angles are the same. So all of these match and all of your sides are the same. Okay. Regular means your sides are the same and your angles are the same. So this is a yes. Okay. Well, this angle can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places. So 360 divided by 5 is 72. So this has rotational symmetry at 72 or technically 144. Okay. It can be anything from 180 and less. Take a look at 3. Rotational symmetry? 180. This one's exactly 180. Because I need this arrow to be down here. What about 4?
No.
Yes.
Yes.
It's a star. And it's the same thing as this pentagon because it's got 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, or I'm sorry, 5 points. So, my bad. 360 divided by 5 gives us 72. So, again, we've got 72 degrees or 144. Okay. Last bit. Okay. Now, when we talked about mapping with the last one, everything went by 90 degrees or 180 or 270. This one, everything's going by 45. Okay. These are all split by 45. So each one of these angles is 45 degrees. 45, 45, 45, 45, 45. Okay, so this first one, they want us to start at A, and they want us to go 45 degrees clockwise. So if I start at A, 45 degrees clockwise takes me to B. Okay, 6 wants me to start at C. If I start at C, they want me to go 90 degrees clockwise. 90 degrees clockwise, E. So here's 45 degrees, here's 90 degrees. So we're at E. Okay, be careful with number 7. 7 tells us where we're going to finish. We need to figure out where we're going to start. Okay, so it wants us to finish at F by going clockwise 180. So they want us to end here. Where do I need to start to do that?
C. Wait,
Okay, hold on. If I start at C, we go 45, 90, 135. I haven't quite gone 180 yet. So it's actually going to be B. B goes C, there's 45, here's 90, here's 135, here's 180. So B okay. We want to start at H and go 90 degrees counterclockwise. So we're starting at H. You said F. Good. Here's 45 degrees. Here's 90. All right. So this time I want to end at E. I want to finish at E by going counterclockwise 45 degrees. So I want to finish at E, so that means I need to start at F. Last one, my friends. I want to finish at A and go 135 degrees counterclockwise. Okay. F, hold on. F would be 135 clockwise. So it's going to be D. We want to go counterclockwise. We want to go counterclockwise. If I start at F.
Yeah, but if you start at F and go to A, that would be like going clockwise.
Right, and I want it to go counterclockwise.
So technically you're starting at, technically we would be starting at A and go counterclockwise to D.
Technically, if you want to start at A and do this, you have to go opposite of this. So I want to pick some point where I can start and go around to the left and end at A. So if I start at D and go around to the left, there's 45, there's 90, there's 135.
So to find the counterclockwise, you have to just go clockwise.
Technically, yes. Any questions? Okay. You have those 6 problems on page 25. So what I want you to do here is just like we did on the examples on page 24. I want you to list the points that you have originally and then give me the new points once you've rotated. If you notice, and this is why I told you not to cut out the directions, it says clockwise rotation. So make sure you're going clockwise. Okay. You have the rest of this period to work on this. I know it's not much time, but you at least have like 13 minutes.